Hey, what is up, you guys? This is Eric and Sean with OzoneTCG. Today we're taking a look at a new theme. We're a couple days late on reacting to this, but this isn't going to be just a reaction. This is more so on what we think of the archetype. We're going to read over the cards, though, and give our impressions for this and kind of see how it compares to the Valiance theme that was previously revealed. Before we get into the video, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more Yu-Gi-Oh! Content. Let's get right on into it. Alright, so of course we have Ruins. So this is coming out in Tactical Masters, and this set includes Valiance, which were previously revealed. We have that reacted to before. Ruins, and then a third theme, which we haven't seen quite yet. It should be revealed within the next month or so. But these guys are really interesting. All the art looks like for a first-person view, so it looks a lot like Skyrim. Or other first-person RPGs. Basically, all the card art has that first-person look. They are also seemingly related to the generator cards. One of the monsters, a couple of the monsters actually appear in some of these arts as well. So we're gonna go ahead and go over these right now. Yeah, so let's see, we have Ruins Fountain. It's a field spell. You can activate Ruins quick play spells from your hand during your opponent's turn. Then once per turn, if a Ruins quick play spell is activated, you can target up to 3 Ruins quick play spells in your graveyard, place them bottom of the deck, then draw cards equal to the number of cards placed. Seems like a medium effect. I think this whole theme is pretty medium overall. Feels like a mid-range deck, a little bit like Striker, but definitely plays differently from them.
Is there a way to protect this card?
I don't think so. We can take a look at the other cards, but I don't think so. Which is like the main concern. I think that's the one thing you have to do. I feel like you would activate, or you would at least set this quick plays anyway. But because one of them searches another card, so you can activate that search card from hand during your opponent's turn, depending on what your opponent is playing. I don't think they're really simple effects. You know, all the cards have like all the spells at least have just 2 effects, either do one thing or do the other. But I don't think there's a way to actually protect this.
I mean, that second effect's pretty nice, but
yeah.
I don't like the fact that if there's no way to protect it, that means you get blown out by lightning storm, probably.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, and we'll see. And I'm sure there are ways to play around that with maybe some other monsters, which we can talk about. We have Ruins Deception. So this is actually supposedly Lopter, the generator level 4 monster, interacting with the player character somehow. It's a continuous spell. You can only control one, and each time either player activates a quick play spell, banish the top card of the opponent's deck. Not once per turn at all. Seems like a really powerful effect. This whole theme kind of centralizes around milling or decking out your opponent.
This is a mill deck.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think this card is going to be very good in an engine, because I think this deck does have some kind of potential as an engine, kind of like Adventure, and I think you can play those two together. But this is clearly just a mill deck, or at least a mill card. Especially because you're going to be playing, up to 5 or 6 quick play spells per turn. That is the entire goal of the theme. At least for a lot of these, is just to banish the top cards of the opponent's deck. Now, it can work both ways, both to help you and to help your opponent. I think in the kind of mill version, you play something like DD Dynamite to burn the opponent, just because you can't. It does 300 for each banish card. I just don't see this card being played as part of that engine, though, because it is such a simple effect. It doesn't really do anything. It really is a reactive card, but I think the cards that actually do something, which we'll get on in a second, do have a lot of potential. Alrighty, then we have Ruins Spearhead. It can only activate the card once per turn, and then so this is what the quick plays have. You activate one of the following effects, then you skip your next battle phase. So if you activate, say, 3 of them in a turn, you just skip one battle phase, obviously. You add a Ruins card from your deck, and then banish the top card of the opponent's deck, or special summon a Ruins monster from the extra deck to the extra monster zone. I think this is just by far the best card that they have. Yeah, just be able to search any of your quick play or your field or your continuous. Now, they don't have any main deck monsters currently, but I think this card is really good to search your field spell and then use your quick plays during your opponent's turn from your hand. You can also just set this, if you have the field spell, and then use this on the opponent's turn or keep in hand, whatever. and then activate the quick play spell that you add from your deck to your hand. It also banishes, so it interrupts, say your opponent's playing some kind of garnet or brick in their deck that they need to have to resolve. You banish it. Okay, well, you killed their engine or killed part of their deck.
Yeah, there's no locks on this card. It's just
Nope.
kind of funny.
Not at all.
So, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I think this deck could be some kind of engine, because even though you skip your next battle phase, that's okay. It gives you a chance to set up a board. And they have two, we'll get on them in a second, but they have two fusion monsters. One of them is level 3, one of them is level 4. Really interesting because they act kind of as extenders. But yeah, we can get into those in a second. But the next card is Sparkling Flame. You can target a special summon monster the opponent controls, destroy it, then banish top 2 cards of your opponent's deck. Or special summon a ruins monster from the extra deck to the extra monster zone. Feels a lot like Afterburners as a quick play spell.
This is really good.
Yeah, I think this plus the Searcher are probably the best 2 cards. Because it doesn't lock you at all. And then it banishes the top 2 cards. Also makes some cards miss timing, which is interesting. I don't think it's super relevant right now, but there are some cards that still have a when this card is destroyed by a card effect or whatever, rather than an if it's destroyed, because the last thing to happen is, of course, banishing the top 2. But it's also nice that all the cards have that second effect too, and I think that's what makes it really, really consistent. I think that's why this has a lot of potential. Yeah, really strong card. The next one,
kind of annoying so far.
Yeah, I think this deck's gonna be really annoying to play against, especially if it's a mill focused one, just because they all do something with banishing. This one's really good too. It's MST and then banish the top 4 cards, or especially
4 cards.
Yeah, I think this has a lot of potential to be abused. I just think the entire deck has a lot of potential to be abused. Seems kind of crazy that they just let you banish 4 for free.
Can you go back to the engage real quick?
Yeah, it banishes the top card, so you can go for 5, just for nothing, basically.
That's kind of crazy.
Yeah. Kind of an issue, honestly, but
I like how none of these are actually breaks because they all summon something from the extra deck.
Right, that's what I'm saying. That this is really, really interesting. I have a very strong feeling you can play this with Adventure or similar decks, or a similar engine, something like that, or just as generic extenders. But this is a really annoying card, especially when they have it, because they can just go. So unless you're going first and they can't play through your board or whatever, this is gonna be really, really annoying to play around. The banish 4 again, because if banish 5, you play the Rhoda. It's a little crazy. I don't think it's going to change the way decks are being built. Like, you're not going to play more cards for it, but it's still annoying to play against. So you just have to play anti-banishing text, something like that.
I hope, you said they're fusion monsters, right? I hope these things are disruption too, because these being quick plays would actually matter a lot more too.
Yeah, we'll get onto those. Because the fusions are some of the most interesting cards too they have. Of all the things, I think the fact that they don't have main deck monsters is also interesting. Then if your opponent, so this is a spell solver. So this is the point where the generators are about to attack. One of them is about to attack these guys, and then one of the other guys comes in the storyline. For those of you who follow that, and then if your opponent adds a card from their hand, from the deck to the hand, except during the draw phase, you discard a random card from the deck, then banish the top 2 cards of the opponent's deck, or special summon, of course, the ruins monster.
This card's not that good, but
no,
it's alright.
Yeah. Again, this will be played more in the mill version. Still really annoying to just have a card taken and then banish the top 2 cards of the deck. For some decks like Sword Soul, it literally won't matter at all. Probably won't matter for the Despia Albaz that's coming out in April, because some of the Despia cards do trigger if they're banished. But for some decks that are playing, like I said, a lot more bricks, this is kind of annoying, especially if they hit the card that you want to search or that you just search or anything. It's kind of annoying. At the very least, it can be played as a one-of in an engine version because it has that special summon effect. That's kind of the entire thing. So, and then this is Golden Droplets, not to be confused with Forbidden Droplets. This card is not good in an engine. It's your opponent draws a card, then you banish the top 4 cards of the opponent's deck, or especially summon Ruins monster. This is solely for the mill version, and the fact that it can be Ash, the fact that they can just draw a card anyway. It makes you go -1.
I'd be fine with the mashing Mysterunes. This card's awful.
I don't see a reason to ever play this. It's better just to ash the Rhoda anyway. Yeah, not a good card, but not all of them can be playable, I guess. I mean, all the cards at least get support in the next main sets, so that is something.
What's happening in the art?
I have no idea. I guess the guys just recovered treasure or something, stolen treasure or something like that. It's like a side quest thing, because that's what that's like adventure. They all and generator and now ruins. They're all part of some. I don't know if they're all in the same world as adventure. I know generators and ruins are in the same world though. Kind of interesting. There's this vortex card, Wrathful Winds. Banish banish cards from the top of your opponent's deck equal to the number of cards they control. This card's really annoying again because it's just banishing. So you let your opponent summon monsters before they can make negates or anything. You banish cards. This is just for the mill version of the deck though. Yeah, it doesn't banish cards afterwards either, so it's literally just banish them. I don't know. It doesn't seem too great either for really meta use, but still, again, annoying card. All these cards are just really annoying to play around. Yeah, we have Frozen Curse. It's target an effect monster the opponent controls, negates effects till the end of the turn, then banish the top 3 cards of your opponent's deck. Literally Widow Anchor minus the taking, and then banish his top 3. So you banish 4 if you use the Rhoda. This card's really annoying.
Pretty good, yeah.
Yeah, this is probably top 3 for the deck so far. I don't like what it means for the game, being able to just banish the opponent's cards. Yeah, just cool stuff. And at worst, again, just summons from the extra deck, the extra monster zone. Really annoying, but I'm curious to see how many we play for the deck. And then this is actually where the generator lore comes in, where they're actually fighting Jormungandr. And it's the generator Xyz monster. So this is where the player is fighting it with, and this is the little fairy thing is one of the fusions. So this is Ruin's Slumber. Target face-up monster in the field. If it be destroyed battle or card effect, it's not destroyed, but it cannot attack. Then banish top 3. This card's not good at all.
Yeah, card's awful.
Bad protection effect. Even though it's special summons, I wouldn't even play this card in any version of the deck. Yeah, just not good. We get into the fusions now. This is a Dark level 4 beast. If it's special summon from the extra deck, you can target a non-quick play runes card in your graveyard, add it to your hand. Cannot be destroyed by card effects. If it's destroyed by battle, target a card in the field, destroy it. So it doesn't protect your cards at all, but it is a level 4 extender for free. It doesn't have any restrictions. It's kind of cracked actually. Both the fusions are kind of insane just because of their levels and the fact that you can play multiples and just it's an effect monster for Verde Anaconda. It's a dark monster for some decks. A level 4, and yeah, you can still attack with them. Besides skipping your battle phase, you can still use them for anything. There are no restrictions on it. It's kind of insane. And that's
so the only card you can add of X so far is the field spell and the continuous spell?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yep, so far. So that's not going to really come up too much, at least as an engine, but if you're playing this, you're playing it just as an extender. In a pure version, I think you're playing it for the effect more.
It's kind of funny. I just thought it was almost Kagari for a second, but I'm glad they didn't do that again.
Yeah, that would have been kind of insane. Because that would have been just too broken. This would have catapulted the engine into easily tier 1 if they did something like that. But I think this engine's still really good because of the level 4 free extension. And then we get into the fairy. Minin, if it's special from the extra deck, you can discard a card, add a Ruins continuous spell from your deck to your hand. That effect's not really great because they only have the banishing one to banish the top card every time you play a quick play. Yeah, not great. But then when your opponent activates a card or effect, it targets a Ruins or set card, so any of them you can banish this card. Negate the activation if you do destroy it. That effect is not once per turn. Neither is the other effects. You can just keep adding them, or keep summoning and then keep either adding or have this for negation. And at 2000 defense, that's pretty relevant. I think you could play this maybe in, not sure why it says level 4 is level 3, but the level 3 does matter. And I think you could potentially play this in Agents if you have space for it, just for the extra material. Or you could play it in something like Phantom Knights or Adventure, because you can make Karubini with it. Seems kind of insane. And then the random 1,000 life points gain. I don't know why they have that. Good for time though. But again, you can just special summon these for free. And this also doesn't have any restrictions or anything. And the fact that they are lights and darks seems a little insane. I don't know. What are your thoughts on these so far?
Dog's okay. I don't like this one. I think this one kind of sucks.
Yeah, I agree.
Mostly because you have to discard to add the vanilla to your hand. And then the protection effect only works on the field, and you still have to get rid of it.
Yeah.
And the last effect just doesn't exist.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think it's very good for like the burn version. Again, I think it's fine, not because of the effects or anything. Literally just because you can link summon with them for free. You can start off your turn by summoning these. Yeah.
You have to sacrifice the battle phase though, which is kind of hard.
Yeah.
It depends what card once you play, I think.
Yeah, I think this one's definitely the better of the two. Again, simply because of the level and attribute. I don't think the beast matters too much for Tri Brigade. I don't think you're gonna play these cards at all with Tri Brigade. But it would be interesting to see if that were the case.
That one being indestructible by card effects and also being a pop point on destruction by battle is pretty good though. I mean, it's that if you like break, for instance, you could hold off by summoning that in battle phase.
Yeah, and then you have some kind of protection. Make sure your life points are safe. I think this is where the discussion comes in. I think this has a lot of potential as an engine. I think the deck is just going to be mostly cheese though. A lot of annoying cards, but you have to either play other cards to see these, either like draw cards or something like that to really make these threatening, because otherwise you're just milling your opponent's deck, and it really hasn't been relevant in the game. I don't think there's ever been really a mill deck specifically that's done very well within the past, let's say, 8 or 9 years in the game. I don't see a pure version doing very well in the game. I could see this as an engine, like I said, it just being absolutely nutty, because you can just break your opponent's board with all the cards you play and then go from there. But not really as a deck. I'm not sure how it played in OCG. I could see it a little bit more, simply because they have cards like Maxi, and you're playing a lot of other cards to counter Maxi, and more of a mid-range format there. I don't know how I feel about this in the TCG though. Cool engine. I could definitely see this being played as a side engine, especially if Fibrax remains legal, Verte Anaconda remaining legal. About half these cards are playable or good. Spearhead, Sparkling Flame, Destruction, and what was the other one? Oh, Frozen Curse. I think those are the best ones, and the level 4 Fusion. Because like we said, at the very worst, it's just protection to make sure you don't lose that turn. I saw a few people playing this with like Trick Stars to try and burn the opponent and mill them. That seems a little bit much. Just seems like complete cheese, but I think that's what people are going for with it. I think this has a lot of utility with Fibrax decks, especially because you can just play one of these, play one of the quick plays, normal summon a tuner, or special summon a tuner with something like E-Telly, and then go into Fibrax plays from there. Or other like rank 4 toolbox decks. Punk, I could see playing these cards, mostly because of the Fibrax toolbox, or adventure variants like Therions you could play with this. Now they don't have the same typing as Therions, but you can go into Link monsters that have similar typings for those, or the plant combo version of Therions. I think there are a lot of interesting ways to play this, but I am curious to see what the OCG is going to do with this. Not sure how expensive it's going to be there either. We can ask our resident OCG player just to see what it's going to be like, but I don't know. Do you have any other thoughts on this?
The art is pretty dope.
Yeah.
I think I'm a big fan of that Frozen Curse one that looks like, I don't know what they're fighting, it just looks cool. And then the other one where he's fighting the Digimon looks pretty cool too. Hold on. It's that one, yeah.
This one, yeah.
Like just sniping a Digimon.
Yeah, it looks like Seraphimon. That's funny. Yeah. Well, yeah. Alrighty. Well, I think I'll probably make some kind of guide to this deck or have some kind of profile up soon. using this as like an engine, using some of the cards we mentioned. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. I'm really curious because it seems like there are a lot of ways to abuse this. It just really depends on what else is being played with this deck and the engine.
Wait a second. Can you scroll down real quick?
Yeah.
In between the spell and the monster. You go down one more. Oh, are they missing a card? Wait. What number is that? 39?
Oh, yeah, I didn't even notice that. 39,
38.
34. So they might be missing more. I know this isn't the full reveal. Because I'm not actually sure when Tactical Masters comes out. That's 36, 35, 32, 31, 30, 29, 28. So they're missing some maybe trap cards? I'm not sure.
Wait, what was the number that's missing?
Between, I saw, let's see, 36, 30, so 37. So they're missing maybe one
There
card.
has to be a quick play spell card, right?
Yeah, or maybe a fusion monster, I'm not sure.
Yeah, either has to be a fusion or a quick play. I mean, usually they make that last card super correct.
Yeah.
It does look like they're missing a fusion monster though, because I think these are all cards that appear in the artwork, right? The
Yeah.
black cards.
Yeah. So maybe it's either
It's the other fairy chick, I think. There's two.
Yeah,
of them,
this
right?
one. Maybe it's a level 2 fusion. That's what I would guess.
That's probably gonna be some Rhoda or some stupid Edback card. Yeah, I could
Which,
see it.
if there are no restrictions on that either, even if you can only use its effects like once per turn, that might still be a really good engine card. Because I think the last card was Water Enchantress for Adventure.
Yeah, Water Enchantress for Brave. It was Pax for Exorcister, and it was Ogre. All three of them.
Oh
were
yeah, so just all the
consistent
crack cards. All right, yeah. So
Yeah.
there's a very good chance that's judging based on Grand Creator's reveal, which
Yeah, like if it's a Rhoda, like on top of any, that just actually is insane.
even if
as
you
a
have to like
character.
discard one, I think that'd still be just crazy. Because then that just takes your opponent's Ash or Imperm. Cool, then you can just combo with them as an engine. Alrighty, yeah. So I think we'll wait with the deck profile until that card's revealed, which it might be a little while. I actually see.
They usually do it the week of the set coming
I'm
out, so we
I'm
still
gonna
have one more
see
month.
when this actually releases in the OCG. I know here we don't get this until about
In
June.
March.
Okay, March 19th. So in about a month. And we already saw Valiance, of course, some reprints here. Yeah, I'm really curious on to see what these guys. Yeah, so it's the 37. And then we still have to reveal the other cards, the other theme, which we'll do a reaction, Labyrinth. So we'll see how that is, but we'll wait for the deck profile until we see those cards. Because I have a very good feeling, even if they just get another monster, I think it still has a lot of potential. It has a lot of potential as is.
Yeah, Valiant's in the same boat right now, where they're missing just a super crack card currently. So
Yeah. Well, and they're, like I said, they're all guaranteed to get support. So if you don't get a good card this set, at least one or two, main decks like Illegal Knight. For Adventure, we all know how cracked that card is. It is absolutely disgusting for that deck. I'm curious to see about this. I think this is the theme that I'm going to be looking at the most for Tactical Masters. I know you like the Valiance, I think.
I love the Valiant deck a lot. I'm hoping that last card is a continuous spell that's like a quick effect move.
Yeah. I think that's
Deck
what they
needs
would
it
need.
so bad.
Yeah, otherwise it's... But at worst, again, they get main decks, or main booster set support. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. We're going to take a look a little bit more at this and experiment with it even between now and between the OCG release. So this is OzoneTCG. We'll see you guys in the next one.